Hello, lovely people, and welcome back. This time we are listening to some fantastic vintage marriage advice, which will improve our coupledom. Probably not.
Well,
it was made for the straights in the 1950s,
I was going to say,
but you know.
How much of it is relevant to us?
There might be something we can learn from.
We sometimes fulfill heteronormative roles.
Oh. Golly, which of us is which in this heteronormative?
You know, if we're going to say, I do actually all the pink jobs. So...
No, you don't. If one of us was going to hang a shelf, which would it be?
Me.
Yeah. If one of us wallpapers our child's room, which one is it?
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If one of us paints the child's room, who is it?
Me.
If one of us plugs in the car to charge it up.
Yeah, it's me. But
that's not really 1950s, they didn't have electric cars.
If someone does the cooking, who is it?
You.
If someone does the
baking,
washing up,
that's me.
Who washes up?
I do the baby.
You are not answering. I wash up. Who does the hoovering?
The
me.
cleaner.
When did you...
Or your robot hoover that I bought you for Christmas.
Oh yeah, my robot hoover, yeah.
The wife's job. The good wife's checklist. Have dinner ready, plan ahead, even the night before, to have a delicious meal ready for the time of his return. Prepare yourself. Take 15 minutes to rest so you will be refreshed when he arrives. Touch up your makeup, put a ribbon in your hair and be fresh looking. Prepare the children. Take a few minutes to wash the children's hands and faces, comb their hair, and if necessary, change their clothes. Minimize all noise. At the time of his arrival, eliminate all noise of the washer, dryer, or the vacuum cleaner. Encourage the children to be quiet. Good Wife's Guide, Housekeeping Monthly, 1955.
Yeah. I mean, the first bit of that was basically you tell me to do that every time. You're like, you should prepare a meal, you should meal plan, so just organise for you.
Oh my goodness.
Last night you literally said, should we sit down together and meal plan?
Because you really like recipes and you've been wanting to follow some recipes.
I do, and I've been looking at cookbooks.
And I thought it might be helpful for you if I ordered the ingredients for the recipes that you want to do online, because you struggle with the online ordering process.
Following this advice, I am going to sit down tonight, the night before, and meal plan for the next day. When I used to get home from work, I'm pretty sure you would probably take 15 minutes to freshen up, put on some makeup and put a ribbon in your hair.
I did. I did, yeah. When you worked out of the house, I would make sure that you came home to me looking pretty.
Exactly.
I have an ear infection right now, so I feel horrendous. And that's why I have really dark circles under my eyes, even though I'm wearing like a truckload of concealer. It doesn't hide it.
You know what you need to do? Dry brushing. I'm such a sucker.
Oh my god.
Is it as I'm approaching 40 that I'm becoming a sucker for Facebook adverts?
Babe, you were always a sucker for Facebook adverts.
Oh, and also turning off noise. Yeah. Not for you, dear wife, but we do try and turn off all the gadgets and noises for Rupert.
Yeah,
because it isn't very nice to come home and suddenly it's like the washing machine is going on, and the baby breast, and the sterilizer, and the dishwasher, and it's just like this, like.
Yeah, he can't cope with that.
I can't cope with it either.
No, you can't.
I can't. I think I turn it off. Not I say it's for him. It's because he comes home with like his own noise, and then that on top of all the like electronic noise is just too much.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't silence the babies. I wouldn't really wash them and get them dressed.
I mean, we have to wash them like 3 times a day because we're weaning them now. I've forgotten how annoying that
Your
is.
level of like cleanliness is quite like. What's the word? Like, you know, like you will change them if they've got a tiny bit of dirt.
Oh gosh, thank goodness.
Like
I really thought you were going to say that my level of cleanliness is very low.
Like you've got a low threshold before you then have to like, you know, change them.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were going to say that like I can cope with a lot of mess.
No, like tiny bit of porridge on their top and you're like, gotta change it.
It's dirty.
Well,
People will think we don't love them.
I gave them lunch just now. They are covered underneath. I just shoved a cardigan on top because I was like, it's fine.
There are many issues with old-fashioned marriage advice, but at least in the past they didn't have to deal with spouses who clicked on every single dodgy Facebook ad, leaving your connection open to hackers. Spam, $1,000 targeted ads for dry brushing. What even is dry brushing? But wait, that doesn't have to be a today problem either. Not with the sponsor of this video, Surfshark. Surfshark is our family's daily use VPN, both for unlocking region-locked content and for protecting us from my wife's "that deal's too good to be true, I should definitely buy it" addiction. How do they do it? Well, Surfshark lets you connect to any one of their thousands thousands of different server locations around the world, so our internet thinks that's where you are. Why is that useful? Well, we are going to Malaysia in Easter to visit family, and we need to hire a car now that we're a family of 5. We can't just rely on the network of aunties to ferry us around. How much does it cost to hire a car from the airport when you're booking from England? Quite a bit. How much does it cost to hire a car from the airport when the internet thinks you're booking locally? So much less. All I had to do was connect to a Malaysian server location, refresh the page, and wow. Thank goodness for that. And at the same time, I feel secure knowing that Surfshark is encrypting my data. So we're getting a bargain, but staying safe. Once we're out there, I'll also be using it to easily access services back home by choosing a UK server when I need to use my banking app. With 4,500 servers in 140 locations, Surfshark has the global coverage I need. It's fast, secure, blocks unwanted ads, and even lets you generate alternative email addresses to avoid giving out your personal information. It's just not necessary. And speaking of emails, they've recently launched a new email scam checker that's built into Surfshark's Chrome extension. It detects phishing attempts and malicious links before you click them. It's easy to use, it runs in the background, and it gives you one less thing to worry about. With a wife who likes to click on scam ads, it's a relief to have Surfshark helping cut down on spam and more nefarious data exploits. No more hacking, tracking, and snooping. Try out Surfshark for yourself and get an extra 4 months for free by using the QR code on screen now, or going to surfshark.com/Jessica and using code Jessica at checkout. Listen to him. You may have a dozen important things to tell him, but the moment of his arrival is not the time. Let him talk first. Remember, his topics of conversation are more important than yours. Good Wife's Guide, Housekeeping Monthly, 1955.
I would say that when I used to go to dentistry and come home, you used to quite enjoy listening to all my tales and stories.
Oh my goodness, the gossip.
Yeah.
It is fun to leave the house.
Yeah. And then I'd be like, how was your day? And you'd be like, yeah, it's fine. You wouldn't really tell me much because I guess it's harder to communicate what you did.
I know. It's still hard to communicate what I do. What did I do today? 50 different small things that slightly moved the needle on the many projects I'm working on.
Yeah, I think just as a relationship, you do let me talk about my very mundane existence, and I don't really ask much about your very interesting world knowledge.
No, it makes you feel heard. The husband knows best. Let him think he's the boss. In the ideal marriage, the husband feels that he is the head of the household. This does not necessarily mean that he must dominate every decision or exercise authority in an obvious way. Indeed, many successful marriages are those in which the wife, through tact and understanding, guides decisions whilst allowing the husband to retain the feeling that he is leading. A wise wife will therefore avoid open opposition or contradiction, preferring instead to influence gently and indirectly. Marriage can be fun. Clifford R. Adams, PhD, 1938. I think the point is supposed to be about how men would go out and have, world leading, such an important job, incredible, magnificent, but he wouldn't actually be able to do it without his wife at home who pressed his shirts and fed him. The idea is that it's supposed to be that it takes more than one person to do incredible things. In the same way that in the old days we have people who are incredible artists and poets and do fabulous things artistically, but it's generally because they were stinking rich and had lots of servants who dealt with the mundane parts of life and a cook who cooked them food, and they never had to worry about paying the rent or the mortgage.
Yes, so we can't reach our full potential because we have to do just life admin.
Yes, we can't reach our full potential because we're not stinking rich. Is that
I don't think we answered that. We just got a bit forlorn.
We did. Oh boy.
My female friends would say their theory of there being tension in relationship was to do with finances, and that the man felt like if he wasn't earning more or equal to, or usually more, they would feel like lesser.
I see.
And didn't like it.
It can be an awkward thing as well when you look around the school gates and you see the gender split.
Well, that is majority mums picking up rather than dads.
Yeah. Oh, darling, a man needs respect, not romance. Men crave respect more than affection. Women crave affection more than respect. Trouble often arises in marriage because each partner gives what they themselves desire rather than what the other requires. A successful wife understands this difference and adjusts her behaviour accordingly, offering respect in place of sentiment. The Art of Being a Good Wife, 1937. Do you desire affection or respect?
You can't. I think I want both. In this modern world,
I think I want an equal partnership.
I don't think I would be in a relationship that wasn't respected.
No.
That would not be nice. I do need affection and appreciation.
Yeah. Same.
Is it too much to ask?
I think we both need, I think we're both women and we both think that respect is important.
I think men need affection.
I would agree.
They would need both too. Like, they don't respect, just that where's the love and the adoration?
I can't stand it when people make those TikToks about how they don't cuddle and kiss their sons because they want them to grow up to be like
Who says
men.
That? They still do those now?
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
I've been going down the dry brushing route. I've missed that trend.
Dry brushing and slow cooking.
And high rocks versus CrossFit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't even do either of those.
No. Intimacy and romance. Keep yourself attractive at all times. A woman should take care never to neglect her appearance, for her husband's interest must be maintained. Even during periods of illness or fatigue, she should make an effort to remain neat and pleasing. A careless appearance, untidy hair, or soiled dressing gown can quickly dull a husband's affection. Remember that a man is entitled to take pride in his wife, and it is her responsibility to justify that pride. The Wife's Little Book of Etiquette, 1946. As the chronically ill, disabled one, I'm gonna let my spouse answer.
You hate being in your pajamas, and and even when you really are unwell, you want to get changed out of them.
Yeah, I can't stand it if my pajamas don't match.
You try and like put lipstick on or like something, don't you? And like you hate when your hair is just straight.
How dare it grow from my head?
If you're bedbound,
how dare it?
If you're bedbound, you like put a roll in your hair. But I don't think it's for me. It's for you. It's for yourself. I think.
You know, we're already in such a rubbish state, already feeling really awful. There's no need to make it worse by then looking in the mirror and being like, oh.
My mum did the same when she was in hospital. She always she still put lipstick on and painted her nails and things. I think, but it's more like, is it just to make yourself feel good? I think rather than like try and do it for your husband.
Yeah, I think that's the modern way of looking at it. Yes.
That's the modern way of looking.
Sure. I mean, I would still love you. Even I love you when you're like sweaty. I don't know, I'm trying to think of, you haven't ever really been ill.
You love me when I'm sweaty.
It's almost 12 years we've been together, and the times you have been ill, there was that time you got drunk and you vomited.
I don't think that counts.
Oh, okay. Oh, there was a time we all got norovirus and you vomited once. Genuine. Okay, you've had 2 cesareans. I guess that's
I think the most ill I've ever got was probably when I had the TTTS with the girls.
Yeah.
And
well, you weren't really...
It wasn't really me.
Really? They were ill. You couldn't really breathe.
I couldn't really walk or breathe, yeah. My voice changed.
That was a bit weird. Fine. Everything's...
No, my voice went a bit like... raspy.
Yeah, it was like up here. And I was like, babe, are you dying? I was trying to think of a time where you've looked bad, Claudia.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I've definitely looked bad, like post C-section, like really pale, no makeup.
You were like bright yellow.
Yeah, bright yellow after Rupert. That was not attractive. I've seen those photos.
No, you just birthed our first child. I was like, heart on.
You were just like...
She's so gorgeous. Yeah. Look at her. And you were like, that's marriage, guys.
But we are very intimate that we like, you know, we don't close the door when we go to the toilet. We're often like brushing our teeth when the other one's
overshowering
on
right
the
now.
Like we don't hide anything from each other. You like de-hair yourself in front of me.
Babe.
But whereas we do have some other friends, lesbian friends as well, like so not talking about heterosexual people, they cannot do those things with each other. So they don't.
What's the point in being married?
So they do close the door and they don't de-hair in front of each other. When you lock the door to the bathroom, I'm like, are you right? Why have you locked the door?
We're going to be really old together. Like we're going to be together and be really old. We should be allowed to be just ourselves as we would be if we were in the room alone, because we're going to be together for like 70 years. That's a long time to hold in farts. Not mine.
You did hold in farts for like a good 6 years of our
true.
Relationship.
I don't fart.
Exactly.
Never refuse him. A wise wife understands that marriage brings with it certain obligations. A husband's desires should be met willingly and without complaint, for refusal or indifference may wound his pride and lead to unhappiness within the home. Harmony between husband and wife depends greatly upon the wife's ability to provide comfort and satisfaction, remembering always that marriage requires sacrifice. Woman's Home Companion, 1920s marriage column.
No,
that's not good advice.
That's really bad advice, yeah. It's like borderline domestic abuse, that.
The next part is shockingly decent advice. Shockingly decent advice. Marry your best friend. The happiest marriages are those founded upon friendship. Passion alone is uncertain, but friendship endures. When husband and wife enjoy each other's company, share interests, and respect one another's opinions, they possess a bond stronger than mere romance. Love grows deeper when it is rooted in companionship. Ladies' Home Journal, 1909.
You may hear baby noises in the background.
There is now a baby.
He's currently just on the floor trying to be like, where am I? They don't really come in this room very much.
What is happening? Marrying your best friend.
It feels like that was written by someone different to the rest of the advice, because it's like, respect each other's opinions. But then earlier on they were like, only the husband's opinions matter. Yeah.
So the one thing about that though is that I don't think you have to share everything. Like, I don't think you have to have exactly the same interests and exactly the same opinions about everything.
No.
You just need to have the same
respect.
core. Yeah, you need to
Respect opinions.
respect
yes.
and affection. But you need to have the same like core values.
Yes.
And
definitely.
you need to want the same things from life and the same things for your future. Never stop being curious about each other. Many marriages fail, not through lack of affection, but through the belief that one partner is fully known. Human beings are not static. They change, develop, and reveal new depths with time. The marriage that thrives is one in which husband and wife remain curious about each other, meeting each new stage of life with interest rather than assumption. Marriage in the Home, Florence L. Barclay, 1911.
I think this is very good advice. I think that's why I think when you get married or you choose your life partner,
Yes.
you need to, like, say, have core values. Those shouldn't really change, but your interests and hobbies and friendship groups, fashion preferences, and like the way you style your hair or anything, those can change.
I think you should always marry someone who you have that core like kernel.
Kernel.
That's within you that is the same, and you're like, oh yes, we match in this way. But I don't think you need to find someone that you're like, oh, okay, brilliant, we have the 10 same hobbies, because what if they give up one of those
Well,
hobbies
no, I think-
and suddenly it's all over?
I'm constantly reinventing myself, I think.
Yeah, you are. She's constantly like, I'm having an identity crisis.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how can you have an identity crisis if it's every week?
It's just an ongoing issue, okay? Not everyone is so sure and confident of themselves as you, Jessica.
No, and that's absolutely
It's not
fine.
a-
But that is who you are.
Yeah. And
So when you're
also-
like, I don't know who I am, I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
you're a person who doesn't have defined edges.
I'm slowly coming to this
That
realization.
is who you are. You know?
I'm someone who doesn't have defined edges, yeah. But I really wish I was. That's the thing.
But wishing
I
might
want
make
to
it
put
so.
myself into a box.
Finding that one perfect hobby won't suddenly make everything else like click into
You just
place.
don't know. Maybe I've just not found that perfect hobby.
Oh my god. Was it going to be slow cooking? Dry brushing your face? Or what's the other new one? CrossFit.
I can put the slow cooker on
Yeah.
with a high protein
Oh,
meal
dry
whilst I go
brush
to
your
CrossFit.
face.
Afterwards, I will dry brush my face.
And I will love you forever, no matter what thing you're into.
Next month, it will be something different.
It will.
Exactly.
She
yes.
agrees.
Yeah.
She knows.
I'm being a good role model.
And she's only known you for
I'm
8
saying
months.
you can be anything and everything, and you don't have to fit yourself into a box.
Yeah,
even if you desperately
exactly.
want to.
And I show her that you can be the same thing forever and never change. Even if the fashions change, you don't have to change.
You can like what you like, and you're not influenced by other people's opinions.
Just because other people tell you to wear trousers, you don't have to wear trousers. You can wear petticoats when you go for a walk in the woods. Why not? Do it. That brings you joy. No, but I do think it's good to have adults that are varied people in a child's life, so that they see different ways of being. So they can be like, oh, I can be anything. I can be everything. In a way, that's why it's even better that they've got 2 mums. Be whoever you are. It doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter. Obviously, we care deeply about who you are and what you like and everything about you.
There are some strict rules that you've already put out there. No rugby.
No rugby.
No motorbikes.
No.
No illegal drugs.
Yeah.
That's kind of a given, isn't it? Tattoos. We can't rule out tattoos because I've
I'm
got
never
tattoos.
rule out tattoos. You can get tattoos. That's fine.
Rupert has already said he wants a dragon tattoo.
Just don't get like a really, really big one as your first tattoo, because
Yeah.
that's really limiting. I don't have any tattoos.
Or is it free?
I just have like, is it freeing, Claudia?
I don't know. I don't have
You
really...
would change your mind the next week.
I'd be like, I've decided. It's defining me. I'm this person.
No, I do say no to things that you decide that are like actually life-changing. When you're
Like when you-
I'm going to completely...
That's when I was like, I'm going to renovate the garage into a like pottery room, and I'm going to get a wheel and a furnace
I'm going to
thing.
spend $5,000 on a kiln.
Kiln!
Like,
It's not even called a furnace, see? That's how much of an interest it's not anymore.
sometimes you have to say no.
And you were like, no, you're not doing that.
Sometimes you have to put your foot down with your wife, you know.
So instead I bought like a 5-kilo bag of clay.
Of air dry clay.
Not air drying, it's normal clay that I'd have to take to somebody else's kiln.
Have you opened it?
No, it's a good thing you stopped me.
Yes, it really is. And that's my job as a wife.
No, one of the reasons that I like knew that you'd be a good wife, you would always support my many ventures. I did know at an early age of like 26 when we met that probably is me, and I will always be someone who wants to try different things and have existential crises about it. And I knew that you would support it always and never like poo-poo it. But also you are like a constant yourself in that you're very like confident, you know what you want, you know who you are, and that will stay consistent. I don't think I could be with someone who also was like really like...
You couldn't be with someone who was also having identity crisis all the time. Who are we as a couple? That was all of the advice. If you have any old-fashioned relationship advice that you've been given, good or bad, let us know down below in the comments and we can all give our opinions. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then click like if you can still do that. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share it with a friend. And don't forget to click the link in the description to try Surfshark now with 4 extra months for free. You can stay safe on the internet. You just have to scan the QR code on screen or go to surfshark.com/Jessica and use Jessica at checkout. How exciting. Thank you again for watching and we'll see you in our next video.
Bye.